Our next guest today is Patricia O'Brien, a resident of Springfield and a good friend of mine who has been dealing with cancer. And I just want to say right now, she's the toughest woman I know, bar none. And so we have known each other for many years. And Patricia is married to Donnie O'Brien. And I don't know how she's put up with him all these years, but
Patience.
Patience. She has
Patience,
lots of patience. How many years you all been married?
We'll be married 54 years in November.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a lot of patience in there.
Yeah.
Now, I asked him the other day if he knew how to turn the dishwasher on. He said no. That tells you a lot.
I swear. Because he's been used to doing it for him. Well, and Patricia, of course, you're from Springfield, and I was fortunate enough to live next door to your parents at one time on West High Street, and they were, now see, what were their names? I've
WJ and Nell
gone
Smith.
blank, huh?
WJ and Nell Smith.
WJ and Nell Smith. And
on
they
High
were
Street.
the proud parents of how many?
12 kids.
12 children. You being one of those.
Yes.
And then, of course, you married Donnie O'Brien from Washington County. And Donnie's mother moved down the street from me at one point. And Donnie's parents were
Junior O'Brien.
Junior and
Laura.
Laura O'Brien.
Yeah, it's TW, but Junior, everybody knew him by Junior.
Right. So, and you and Donnie have been in Springfield for many years. I know you were in Louisville for a little while, and then I guess you've been out here ever since. And raised two daughters. Laura being one of them. I guess she was named after Donnie's mother.
Right. And Sandra.
And then Sandra, who I'm sorry to say passed away. And now you've had her children that you have raised. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Heather and Tommy on here, whom I love. So anyway, and they're adults now.
Yeah.
But Patricia, you know, you've been with Maker's Mark in the office over there for how many
25 years.
25
Gonna be
years.
26 years coming up.
Yeah.
26 years in August.
So you've worked over there, you've raised these children, and now raised these grandchildren. And then you were diagnosed with cancer. And how long ago was that?
It's going on 7 years. Starting to 7 years.
Yeah.
So
And I suppose, let's see, Tommy and Heather would have been about
they were still in high school.
in high school at the time.
Yeah.
Just starting high school, I guess. Yeah. And so, you know, we've had Relay for Life. I think it was last weekend, and Central Kentucky TV covered that, and so I know that there were many survivors at that event, and you weren't able to be there, and that's why I just thought it was important that you be here today on the program, because you have been through the gamut, and you are just hanging in there and doing, been now dealing with this. So it started out, Patricia, you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer
Mm-hmm.
in November of '09. I had my first chemo in January of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've constantly had chemo. Well, for the first 2 years I only had it once. for 3 months, and then waited. But then after that, I've had it constantly. In the last 2 years, I've had it ongoing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I get a break about a month or so, and then I go back into it again.
Mm-hmm.
And just
And
keep spreading.
and various forms of chemo, because you used to
Mhm.
go in for those, and you have the port that, where they're able to put it in intravenously.
Yeah, they've done about probably 5 different types of chemo on me so far. They just changed 3 weeks ago with a new kind to see if that would help any, because it's just rampant right now. And we'll wait and see, but we just keep fighting. That's all you can do, just keep fighting and keep going.
And you have your doctors in Louisville at
Louisville Oncology.
Louisville
in
Oncology.
Suburban Hospital on 4th floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got it.
And did you have radiation?
No, I've only had chemo. They've only given me chemo.
Okay.
Because mine, when it first came back, it came back in 2 different places, which was in my pelvic area and in my stomach.
Mm-hmm. Did you have surgery
And
initially?
I had surgery in '09, December of '09, and they didn't get all of it. There was a little bit left in the lining of my stomach, and then in my pelvic area, it went straight to my pelvic area. So that's where it's rampant right now. It's really big in my pelvic area. And now has succeeded in entering my liver.
Well, but it's just amazing, all the things that have come down the pike since people started being diagnosed with cancer. And it used to be, someone was diagnosed with cancer and you thought, oh no, that's going to be the end. But I don't think that's the case anymore. And you're a perfect example of that.
Well, when the doctor first did surgery on me, he told me that the statistics was that I would have 35% chance of making it 5 years. And I said, well, you get help from above, and I'm going to just leave it up to him. And when he's ready, I'll go, and I don't worry about it. I don't pounder on it. I work when I just work in a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere and a wonderful place where everybody should have employers like I do, because that helps so much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you just kept right on working all the years that, you've been battling this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because of your determination and stubbornness. That's probably what Donnie would call it.
He is. He says I live by the computer, but I'm one that cannot be still.
Uh-huh.
And being able to get on the computer and work on it allows me to use what I can. I don't have the strength to do a lot, but I can sit and work on the computer. And I advise everybody, don't give up. Keep on doing whatever you're doing, because that's what it's all about. Just if you give up, then you've lost your battle.
Right, right.
But it's very important that you do what you feel like doing when you feel like doing it, as you feel like it, and that's what we pretty much worked our life around. We feel good. We feel like doing something. We do something.
And you've always enjoyed your work at Maker's Mark, and you work in the office there and have like you say a nice atmosphere.
Wonderful support.
And they've been a wonderful support to you. But you've been awfully good to them too.
Well, I've loved my job, and I've always been there and done 110%, and I love it, and they know I love it, and Makers to me is just it. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think because of your desire to take good care of your husband and those children and grandchildren, that's a good motivator as well, wouldn't you say?
It is, absolutely. I've got 2 great grandchildren, and it's a joy to spend a little time with them.
Yeah, 2 great grandchildren now.
2 great grandchildren.
Yeah.
Austin's got 2.
Austin
He's got 2 children.
Laura's son has 2 children. Yeah. Little ones. How old are they?
Yeah.
2?
Jace is, he was 2 in April, and Abel he was born in February, end of February.
Okay, yeah. Just an infant.
He's little.
Yeah.
He's outbeating Jace.
And so now, and Patricia, you've got all those siblings too, I know are always praying for you, Lillian and
Well, I've got, like I say, they're there for me anytime I need them.
the one that has the prayer group,
Clarine.
Clarine,
Mm-hmm.
and I know they always pray for you in the prayer group, and Lily and Faye,
And Rebecca.
Rebecca, and Regina.
They're all here in town. And right at my call if I need them. I mean, you know, that's what family's all about. They might not see them every day, but you know they're there.
Yeah, yeah. That's one good thing I think about Washington County. We've got a lot of big families here,
We do.
and they provide a lot of support, you know.
Yeah.
And then, do you have any brothers?
I do, but I don't have any that live in town.
Okay.
I have one that lives in Georgia.
And what's his name?
Joe Murray.
Joe Murray.
And then I have one that lives in Camelsville, Robert. I have one that
Robert
lives in
Smith and Joe Murray Smith.
Joe Murray, and Albertus lives in Cox's Creek.
Okay.
And
So,
Bernard lives in Louisville.
oh yeah.
And I got
Bernard.
one that's passed away. He passed away with lung cancer years ago.
Okay.
Richard. He was
Okay.
like 49 when he passed away.
Oh. Okay. Well, that'd probably be a different story today.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. He didn't know he had it very long before he died. I mean, you can tell that so many things have changed. And, you know, the one thing everybody needs to know is to watch their body. If something's going on with you and you don't know why, just like with me, ovarian cancer is a silent killer.
Mm-hmm.
The symptoms are an everyday symptom. Bloating. Well, you know, I never had any problem with that before.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started passing gas, I would just say I would take everything, and it didn't do any good. And I said, I don't know why, because I've never done this before. That's one of the main symptoms. I didn't know it. I don't think anybody would know that. You know, because it's such a silent thing. You don't think of that.
And that's something.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
people should be aware of what symptoms are. You know, like you say, you have to be proactive on your health. So what are other recommendations you might have? You be aware of your body.
right. Mostly it is, you know, I was real tired. I started getting real tired, and I thought, well, I've just got to cut back. I mean, why am I so tired? I've never been this tired before, because my energy level was way up in the sky. That was one of them. Well, you don't, nobody thinks about those things.
Yeah.
You just don't think. But we have to. We have to start thinking. So when they found mine, it was already in the 3rd stages. And I had some cramping, like it was time for my period, monthly. Well, I was going to the doctor in like 3 weeks, so I said, well, I'll ask my, you know, gynecologist, because it's every year I would make my appointments before I left the office.
So you had your yearly checkup.
I had my yearly checkup every year, because before I would leave, I would make the appointment for the following year so I wouldn't forget. But it was already 3rd stages.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I mean, that's how fast
not
it
only
can go.
yeah, that's how fast it can go. So even though you were having your annual checkup, it was in between there, and you really need to be paying attention to your body.
Right.
Yeah, and knowing warning signs and things. Or if you have, as I was saying earlier, when in my discussion with Katie Essex about autism, now you can just Google things, and so, you know, if you've got some things like that your body's doing that's out of the ordinary, you can Google it now.
Yeah. And you know, they could do a test, and I have fussed and harped on this because insurance doesn't approve of it, doesn't want you to do it. But there's a CA 125, which is a blood test, just a blood test that would show there's a problem there. And I asked the doctor, why won't they do this? And he said, well, sometimes it shows up false. I'm like, I'd rather be false and go and find out I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand the insurance not approving that because it would save so much in the long run.
Well, and that's, there's, I think the American Cancer Association still recommends like annual mammograms and things of that nature. But there have been articles written that say that now it's not necessary really to go have a mammogram but once every 3 years.
I don't approve of
Well, I'm like you,
I
Patricia.
just don't.
If it just saves one life
One life, that's it.
or prevents one person from having to deal with going through cancer treatment, then I say, hey,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
let's do it. So those are good things to know, and I think with the Relay for Life, for example, they raise money that goes for
Science.
research, but with you now, I know you used to all these treatments. Golly, if the cancer didn't kill you, the treatment would.
Yeah, plus the blood, I probably had at least 25 units of blood so far,
Yeah.
maybe more.
But now those treatments have been have gotten so specific that, they're able to, I think, do a whole lot more. I know now with your, the chemo that you're using now, I don't think it makes you sick like before.
It doesn't make me sick as far as it just makes me tired. It drains. I have more problems with energy level than anything. I do something and I have to sit down for a little while. So, it has taken energy more than making me sick. I've been fortunate with the sickness.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are so many side effects to all of this, and I've been very fortunate, which I say is prayers. That's the only thing that's getting me through it. That's the only thing that's allowing me not to have the symptoms. I just definitely think, that's what's done it.
Well, of course, we all know that prayers certainly make a difference, but sometimes it's just what's right in here too.
Yeah, you have to have the right attitude. You have to fight as you can fight and go on and just live your life.
Yeah.
I try to live it as if I don't have cancer as much as I possibly can, because anybody can walk out and get killed. We don't know that, so let's live our life the best we can and go on.
So that's what you would recommend.
That's what everybody. Yes.
Whether you have cancer or not.
That's exactly right. You don't know when the last day is coming.
Yeah.
He's got a time for us, I really believe, and we all just have to do the best we can. And I'm very fortunate. I'm very, very fortunate. He's given me everything I need. I've got friends. I've got people that back me up. I've got I couldn't ask for any more.
Had a lot of good support.
Yes, and that is.
And fortunately, Donnie has been able to be there and take you to your appointments, and that's good.
Oh yeah.
That,
he wouldn't dare let me go to the appointment without him. He's right there.
And I know not everyone, has that much family, so you have been fortunate on that.
I'm very fortunate.
Yeah.
Family, friends, everybody.
Yeah. And so is there anything else that you would recommend to people that well, have cancer or not have cancer.
That's
but
exactly
live their
what-
life.
live their life. Live their life. Don't sit and wait for somebody to come and somebody to do something. Live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Just be happy and do what you can.
Yeah.
Enjoy your life.
Yeah. Well, I do think that's something you do, and I just have to say that I have to commend you, because having known you for a long time, you never complain. You never say, "Why me?" You never you don't complain when you feel badly. You just go right on, amazingly to me. So I think you are quite a role model,
you.
and that's why I thought it was important you be here, because I think you are a role model to all people, cancer or not, that just struggle with everyday issues, because you never complain, you never fuss, you just go right on, and you're so strong and so caring, and I think that is one of the keys also, is that you're always thinking about other people and how you can help them, and instead of who can help me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just have to say, Patricia, that's quite an inspiration to me, so that when I start to complain or fuss, I just think about you.
Well, you just ask my husband. I do complain. I do fuss. He'll tell you.
Well, everybody deserves to complain a little bit, of course. But I think that overall that you have just been quite a role model for people that are undergoing cancer and cancer treatment. So I just want to thank you for being here. And is there anything that you would like to say on Central Kentucky TV to the viewing audience? It doesn't even have to be related to that.
No, I think I've said it all. Thank everybody for being friendly, for helping me, back me up, all the support I've got. I couldn't do it without them. Couldn't do it without all my friends and all my support.
Yeah.
That keeps me going, keeps me energized.
Yeah.
So,
And you're still here, contrary to what those doctors said.
Absolutely.
And
Something
so,
like-
and you're just going right on.
Yep.
So
By living
anyway, I
every
want to
day.
thank you for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you so much.